All right, we are live, CJ, Ollie, and Joe. How's everyone doing today?
Very good.
Amazing.
Happy to be here.
Thanks for having us.
Great, Austin. Welcome, everybody, to the weekly Humanity Hub community stream. I'm CJ from Enhance, and we have Austin from Enhance, and then we have our special guests from the Bonus Points podcast. We have Ollie and Joe. Welcome on in.
Hello, hello.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for having us.
How are you guys doing today?
Great. I'm looking forward to
Yeah.
seeing some of the like newer stages. Like since you dropped the new stuff, so I'm quite intrigued by. So
I'm looking forward to making a stage. That's what I'm
Yes,
looking forward to.
yes.
And not on my own. It's normally like quite a lonely thing. Just put on music and like sit there for like 5 hours to get like altering, like saying, should this block be one to the left or the right? I'm looking forward to it to being a community process. Will be fun.
That's right. That's right. Today we're going to make a stage with you guys, and chat can help us as well, like throwing in some ideas and prompts. We'll do that. But first of all, I want to talk a little bit about the bonus points and get to know you guys, just so that our audience knows a little bit more about what you guys do. First of all, when did you guys meet, and where does the bonus points come in that timeline?
Oh, we met when we were about 13, 14, over half our lives ago. So we went to school together, and both surnames begin with G, so we both had to sit next to each other.
Had to. That's a strong word on
Had
it.
to.
Did have to, but we started to enjoy it, but we did originally have to. And then it turned out that we caught the same train to and from school. And that was our friendship moment. Yeah.
Forced into friendship through circumstance.
Yeah.
Now, was there
And
a
then,
particular game that you bonded over? Like, when did you find out that you both were gamers?
I
I
would
think
say... Go on, you go.
I think we're probably going to say the same. I think the big one, which is specifically like there was our game group, like we had a big nerdy group, but I think specifically Ollie and I was Amplitude was like our game. If you know that was our particular
Very
obsession.
nice.
It was the game Harmonix made before Guitar Hero. So you play it with a controller on PlayStation 2, but you play all of the aspects of the music. So you play the drums and then switch to like the synth and then the vocals you'll play. And then if you do it in a combo, it will play like the whole song, and it's multiplayer. We love that game. And I'll be honest, we got very good at that game. We were obsessed.
Very nice. Very nice. So then where does it go from there? Like, and how do you get to the bonus points as a podcast?
Well,
It's probably a very long story.
yeah, I'll shorten it down as much as I can. We've obviously been friends the whole time. We went to a party and we're in good spirits, having a good time. And Joe's partner was there and was not in a creepy way, but watching from the shadows, like our conversation and what we were talking about and stuff like that, and was like, "Oh, you guys are like, you have a good synergy and you're funny. Maybe you should start a podcast." And then Joe told me that, and then here we are. We decided to go ahead with it.
Yeah.
Wow, it was just that simple, huh?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah. Well, and we also realized that like we're always talking about games anyway, like all the time. And then the format that we came up with our podcast, which is where we're either choosing a game ourselves and playing, or a guest will come in and suggest a game, and then we can have a little debate at the end to rank it. It's a great way to force us to play new games, or to dig through our back catalogue of like kind of the shameful games that you're like, oh, I'd never played Super Metroid, or for example, things like that, or Yoshi's Island. So to go back and play them, but then also kind of becomes a bit of like a video game book club with the community, where a lot of people will play along with us and write in comments and stuff. So it's kind of just what we like doing anyway, where we'll play and discuss a game, but then also at the end we release a thing around it, which is really fun. And then of course one of the reasons why we're ending up being here is we did Humanity, which did very well in our ranking, top 10.
Woo!
Yeah, well done, guys.
Yeah, well, yeah, and thank you for that. I was so pleased to see you guys, dedicate an episode of your show just to talk about the game. And how do you generally select games that you talk about? Because as you said, maybe it's something that is a blind spot in gaming history, or it's a new game. Like, how do you decide? Like, yes, that's the game we're going to talk about this month or this week.
So normally, not in the case of Humanity, but normally, there's one particular criteria that is always the first thing we discuss, which is the length of the game, because we have to finish it in 2 weeks. So if it's like 100 hours long, it's not happening. No way. But with Humanity, me and Joe, Joe, I think he came down for my birthday, and to where I live, and we played the Humanity beta, the demo you guys put out, and we both enjoyed it so much. It was like, not only did we like not want to finish the demo because we're like we want to keep it when we do the game, we also were like we have to do this one for the show. So in that case, it was serendipitous.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you guys are doing a series on Bloodborne right now. What was the impetus of that?
That's just me. I just love those games, and I always want so I wanted to do Bloodborne on the list, but Ollie just kept poo-pooing me, too hard, too long, too difficult, whatever that week's reason was. But then I came up with a great, because we always call each other like brothers, and so then I was like, oh, if we did a series, we could call it Blood Brothers, and just that was a good enough name that Ollie was like, okay, we'll do it. And so then we did it as a Patreon goal, so. It's free for everyone to watch, but it's just if we got a certain amount of patrons, we'd do it. But that meant we had like a small amount of budget to go toward it. So we built a set. We had someone in our community make custom hats. There was a musician in our community who wrote a bunch of music for it. So we kind of had everyone kind of come together to make it a bit of a bigger production rather than a normal Let's Play. But mainly it was just I wanted Ollie to play Bloodborne, and this is my long, convoluted way to get him to play one of my favorite games.
Now, are you generally a Soulsborne player, Ollie, or was this like you're going in, you have no idea what to expect, sort of thing?
Well, I played a bit of Demon Souls when it first came out, so that was in 2009. I played about 20 hours of Elden Ring, but mostly in co-op with Joe, and he kind of just carried me. So not normally. And the game is good. Bloodborne is good. The Soulsborne games are good, but the problem that I have is that games that don't have objectives, I get a bit overwhelmed, and I'm like, I don't know where I'm meant to be going, I don't know what I'm meant to be doing, and they don't tell you really anything unless you read the item descriptions, which is something I normally never do either. But yeah, I mean, my open world paralysis is so bad that in a game, if I come to like a ladder and a staircase down, I'll be like, I can't play it, or because I don't know where I'm meant to go. And it's just like, it's that bad. So Joe's been guiding me, my
or at least
co-pilot.
just like I'll leave you to explore and you'll go, but like if you are going like, not that there's a wrong way, or like a place that might not be worth you going, I can just say like, maybe turn around. So I kind of am there to ensure that you don't panic.
I think everybody should have a Soulsborne coach. Like, everybody should have a Joe on the couch next to them saying, there's a guy around here. You gotta watch out.
I'm not that nice. I leave him to get ambushed and scared all the time as well. I'm not that good.
But at least afterwards you say, oh, I wondered when you were going to turn the camera around and see those guys there.
Yeah.
Like that.
I do a lot of like, when I know something's coming up, a lot of knowing looks at camera, like just waiting for it to happen. But I mean, to be fair, like these games are obviously known for being really difficult. Ollie is like smashing it. Like I think the most attempts he's had at a boss is 3. He's beaten most either first or second attempt with minimal guidance. So to be fair, he is destroying it.
That is
excellent.
I'm actually good at games. It's just the games you do on the bonus points. Normally, I'm not good at them, but I am actually good at games. So, I'm glad that that's coming through.
Yes. And what we're looking at here, by the way, Austin has gone ahead and loaded up one of the stages that Joe, you made. And actually, just to let our viewers know, currently in the game, there's a playlist called Community Stream the Bonus Points. You can go into the game and see the levels that Joe and Ollie have made. And Austin will play we talk, but I just wanted to... and Joe, you're saying that One Block Wide, which is the stage that we're playing right now, you were particularly proud of because you felt that this is the closest to being at home with the campaign, the story of humanity.
Yeah, I feel like I remember from when we spoke before, you were talking about how there's some really cool stuff that are in user stages, but they kind of wouldn't belong in like the story mode. They're almost kind of too wacky or too... I guess gimmick almost sounds like a bad word, but probably is quite fitting. Whereas I feel like this one, it kind of has a bit of a gimmick in the fact that it's only 1 block wide, but I just felt like this is just the one that I'm most happy with, and I set myself the restriction of it being 1 block wide, and often giving yourself restrictions kind of forces you to be a little bit more creative. And so the fact that it is 1 block wide and the kind of the characters are mainly only going down and then they can't really get back up. Like I kind of like that.
Yeah. When you started designing this particular level, where did you come up with the idea? I want to make this stage one block. Was that like something that you had before you hopped into the stage creator, or did you hop into the stage creator, fiddle around with some stuff, and then say, "Oh, maybe I'll do this one block"?
Yeah, it was the latter. So the original idea was, I like the idea of having like the door and then the goal in a straight line, and you got to get to it. But then, as you can see, as you start, there is a straight bridge. But then immediately, as you stand on the button, that creates a gap. And then the idea is, well, okay, obviously the only way I could solve this is by, crossing that gap. And then I realized, well, that's all in one line. I had the idea of, I wonder if I can keep it all in just that one vertical axis.
Yeah, this is really cool. I'm really trying to... So, like your point, I'm like, okay, I know I have to cross this bridge. I assume I need to kind of like... There's pushable blocks throughout the stage, right? So I like the idea, or the win condition kind of involved with the stage, and that you have to backtrack so far is pretty cool.
Yeah, thank you.
I think you guys did a playlist or a Discord challenge where you were doing stages that were only 9 blocks, like a square, right? Is that right?
We had the compact Discord workshop.
Yeah, compact.
I saw quite a cool tower.
I don't think we defined what compact meant.
Oh, okay. I thought it was literally like that little... I saw one that was a tower, and that was like super cool. Like all inside the tower was going around.
Yeah, that like 3x3 spiraling tower. That's super cool.
Yeah. I think it's fun to kind of put a limit on your design. Like say, okay, I'm going to do a level that's only 3x3, 5x5, or 10x10, and see what you can do in that space. Like I think that is one of the fun things, just as a stage creator myself, just going in and coming up with that idea, like, oh, I'm going to make a sprawling stage today that's really huge, or I'm going to use the others and have like this mega battle in the middle of the stage. That's kind of fun to play around with.
Do you usually,
Go on,
kind of the same question that you asked me, do you usually have an idea for a stage and then that is what you end up creating, or will you ever just load up the stage creator and play and then see what you come up with?
A little of both, and I kind of like to just open the stage creator and see what comes up and just combine some things. Oh, I'll put a pushable block here or a motorized block here and kind of see where the stage takes me. I'll change the theme of the stage first to kind of set my mind in that tone, like have a red background or a blue background, and kind of let that influence my creations. But sometimes I will have the concept for a stage beforehand. Like I was telling you before we started recording, Joe, the Take the L stage that I made, I had the title first. I wanted to make a stage that was called Take the L, and then decided what that meant once I hopped into the stage creator itself.
Before we started the stream, we were talking about that level. I didn't know that CJ made it, and I was saying like, oh, it's such a good idea, like the name for a stage. And then CJ started explaining like the idea of the name. I was like, oh, you made the stack. I didn't realize I was being so complimentary to you, but it's a great name.
I also didn't know you made it. I saw it, but I didn't know that you'd made it.
Yeah, I made the stage. And it's a hard stage. It's probably the hardest stage that I've made.
Yeah, I haven't got back to
really
that one yet. We tried to play it on stream a little. I think was it last week or the week before? It was the week before because I was out last week. But yeah, we have a 10-minute timer on stream now because otherwise we'll have stages like Take the L that will just take up the whole stream, and then we want to showcase other. So some of the first like difficult community stages we came across were like, okay, we need a timer on these because they get pretty difficult.
It's true. What about you, Ollie?
Thanks for the rating. I was watching that.
Oh yeah. I have 100 favorites, but I did like the stage. I didn't get the Goldie. I didn't know there was a Goldie that popped out somewhere, so I might go back to it to get that extra sweet XP. Yeah.
You need that gamer cred.
Yes. Yes.
What about you, Ollie? When you hop into the stage creator, like, what's your sort of preferred method for coming up with a stage?
Well, so last time I ended up going into some stages and them to get some ideas, because the first thing because I've only made 3 stages. The first thing I was struggling with was like, I don't understand the scope of what I'm working with here. Like, so in my mind, I was making these huge things, and I did actually make a level that was absolutely massive without really realizing. But then going into the stage creators, the stages that had already been made, seeing what people have come up with, and then I would always be like, how can I make something that you've not seen? Like, I don't want to make anything I've seen in here. And like just watching that one wide, I've got an idea that I don't think you've seen, so I might go back in and make another one, but I'm not gonna reveal it here.
No spoilers.
No spoilers.
That's right.
So right now we're in the Pallet Town stage, which of course refers to Pokemon Red and Blue. But I don't know. I think it just RNG timed up. But is this the proper order? Bulbasaur, Charmander, then Squirtle.
I think that is. There's the choose your starter.
Is that a good RNG on the humans that spawned in here?
This stage was quite fun. So I was building this just as like a fun build project, not as a level to be played. And in the end, I realized, I kind of could make it a level to be played. So it's really it's an exact recreation of at least the bits you could do of the game I did for fun. But I was building this, and then that was right when I can't remember your exact wording, but it was when Summer Games Fest was coming, and you had a thing about levels inspired by other games. And I kind of just done this level, and then you said about there was a special thing for it. So I actually deleted the level and put it up to include that tag on it, because it just fit it so perfectly. But it was a massive coincidence.
That's cool. I think
Nice.
when you showed me this stage, I don't think when I saw it, it could be completed.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, the
like-
goal. I was just building it for fun. I wasn't even knowing if I was gonna post it, but then I was like, it would kind of work as if you picked the Pokemon. One of the things I really wanted to do and failed in doing was to do a good way how when you go in the building to get a good view. So originally I was like, when you go in the building, you could drop to an underneath area, and then it's a bigger interior space. And then I played around with when you enter the door, like the building disappears, like the roof disappears, and then you just have the walls. But I never, I'm sure there's a way to do it, and maybe, you guys would be able to think of it. But I liked that idea, but I never quite got it working right.
That sounds tricky. Yeah, because indoor stages, this is something I tried pretty early on, but it can be hard to get that right camera angle to like navigate through indoor stages, right?
That's why I just went for big windows, and you can kind of just look through the sides. That was like the way I did it in this, but I think there would be a way to do it, and maybe someone watching this, some better creator than I will be able to just send that to me in a couple days.
You probably could do it if you made the floor of the building people switches, and then had any of them trigger the roof disappearing. So if there was pressure on any of them, the roof would disappear. You could probably do it that way.
Yeah, and then the other thing
or
is,
a dog switch the same way.
because I'd done most of the top already, and because I'm using a lot of foliage and stuff, it kind of ate into a lot of my budget. And then the idea of doing the bigger interior, that was the other thing. Like, I could do a scaled back version of it, but that was the other thing I kind of ran into there.
Right.
You should have seen how excited Joe was when he was loading me into this level. And he was like, "Oh, you'll never guess what this is."
I love the use of the conveyor belts for like the cliffs. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, the one way.
Yeah. Looks like I'm missing a human and a Goldie, so I need to re-explore here.
Oh, you caught a shiny Pokemon. Actually, I think that was in the house where your mum is. I think that's your mum. That was my thinking. I made this one a while ago. I've not visited it again in a while.
See the other Goldie over there.
Nice. Now, have either of you played with other games that do user-generated content? Have you been big into that before Humanity?
Well, I'll go first because mine will definitely be quicker. I played Little Big Planet back in the day on the PS3. I got quite into that, making my own stages and stuff, but generally I'm not a stage maker. I think maybe in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater I used to make skate parks when I was a kid. I'm trying to think. I mean, considering I did game design at university, you'd think I'd be all over this, but generally not a big custom level maker. But Joe, you do a lot of user-generated stuff,
That's
right?
what I love. I mean, so one of my favorite games of all time is Halo 3, and most of my time was spent in Forge mode, making things with my friends, making puzzle maps and labyrinths. Mario Maker is another one. I spent a lot of time in, and then I guess it is kind of a little bit different, but then obviously Minecraft is kind of what I'm most known for, and that's kind of all you're doing in Minecraft. But the main thing I'm doing in that is kind of making like mini games and like kind of arenas and all sorts of stuff. So that's kind of my thing. It's like a lot of my favorite types of games are things like this.
Nice. And what types of games do you both kind of normally gravitate to? Like, what would you say are like your top genres?
I like arcade games, so stuff like Metal Slug. We're talking about Tetris before we started recording today. Street Fighter, stuff like that tends to be what I play. Like I quite like quite quick experiences. Maybe just because I'm an adult, I don't have time to spend like 8 hours playing something. But I mean, Humanity is perfect for that because it's very like pick up and play. You can do 2 stages and then stuff. Whereas like I bought something like God of War, which I was really excited about. But then it's like I have to buy 4 hours to kind of do it. Do you know what I mean? Like I can't just quickly drop in and drop out. But yeah, definitely things like that. Shmups as well. Anything really arcade related is what it's, you know, outside of podcast games, this tends to be what I play.
Yeah, then I guess for me, I'm like very system heavy, like immersive sims are one of my favorite genres. I mean, like things like Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom are kind of up there with that. And then just games that just give you, even if it's in story, give you a lot of freedom. Disco Elysium was for a long time the top game on our list we both love. And then only recently kind of getting into From Software games as well, which in their own right, they're very hands-off on the player. I like Elden Ring has quickly become my favorite game. And I played that. I'd not played any Souls games or anything before that, but then I fell in love with Elden Ring and kind of gone back, and then now have kind of really enjoyed those as well.
I feel really like embarrassed that my stage is on. I feel like when I'm at school and I'm showing my work.
As we're doing a show and tell right now. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. This stage, funny enough, speaking of arcade games, I was playing Elevator Action, and I was like, I wonder if I could make that in Humanity. I wonder how hard it would be. And this is when I kind of didn't realize how big things were when I was making the stage. So everything is massive, but the idea is there, and the idea is pure and lovely. So I also tried to copy in Elevator Action at the end. They jump in a sports car and like drive off. Obviously, I couldn't do that here, but I like put the front a bit further out with some like little rock garden to try and emulate the escaping from the building. And the people falling down looking like rain was a happy accident. So...
Yeah, I love the use of the others here. It just kind of adds to the whole aesthetic of the stage.
Yeah.
It does seem kind of like a big stage, right? I like that you used. Did you like try to go for a city vibe here? Yeah, it looks nice.
Yeah, you were saying very Matrixy, weren't you? When I remember when we played it.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
You
just got to be careful though, because it might.
Oh, sorry, Ollie.
I say it might trip you up at the end. So unless you've done it before,
okay.
So just be careful.
Maybe a jump scare of some kind here.
Actually, I think Joe, you didn't get all the goldies on this stage, did you?
No, I did not. But Austin didn't get my goldie, so it's obviously okay. If it's okay for them, then it's acceptable to not. You complete the level without getting the goldies, is what this stream has told me.
It's fine to not get the goldies.
That's what I tell myself.
Yeah.
I would say any other scenario.
In the story, I did get them all.
Nice.
I did.
All 150.
Yeah, I got the special credit sequence, which was really cool.
Spoilers. If you've not done it yet.
Yeah. That gives you a nice character skin to use in Create as well. Gold.
Nice.
Ollie,
a few attempts to do that level.
Is this the first stage that you've created?
That was the first one.
Okay.
Yeah. Then I also made Fetch.
Right.
And then I also made a D-Day landing stage, but I didn't finish it because at the time you didn't have laser turrets. So is what I thought. I thought they were there. So I made it with the intention of using them. But I also have another idea for Fetch. I'm going to change it to clay pigeon shooting by changing the human spawner to others, and then giving you the
that'd be pretty cool.
So as they fly out, you can
This level, by the way, this is my first level, and it's not very good. So you feel free to if there's historic value in it, you can have a look. But it's not a very good level.
That's how I felt. That's how I felt.
I know how you feel now.
I disagree. I think that level, when I say jump, I think it's very well done, and especially it uses the idea of maneuvering around predetermined directions, and then also putting your own commands in specific places, and maybe like reconfiguring how people are moving. Like, I really enjoyed this stage when you uploaded it. It's a challenging one.
Yeah, like it was me learning the build mechanics, and I was like, it's better to learn them while trying to build a level rather than just placing things down. Because it's not engaging. I'll just get bored. So that's what this level is. So don't feel.
That is
won't
the best way to do
if
it.
You tap out. Yeah. Because you think like, oh, I want to try and make this happen. How can I make it happen? And that forces you to learn things. I did also see in the chat. Let me see if I can read their name. I got it really small. T3K Sum. I think Tech Sum maybe. They did say there is a way to, when we were talking about the house system, the houses appearing. They did say there's a way to do toggle switches, but apparently it's quite complicated. So it does seem like it would be possible if you are in the know.
Yeah, TechSum is one of our really awesome creators, and people have done like such crazy things with the level creator, like make like a countdown timer that actually worked and counted down seconds, which I did not at all like see that coming.
What was it? Was it like visually displayed?
Visually displayed, yes.
Was that just like motorized? I mean, can you
Must
can
be
you summarize a little bit?
turning on and
I
off,
can't even
right?
imagine that.
I reckon switches turning on and off and something walking over buttons.
Yeah, maybe we could load up that level because it is pretty cool to see how the system is set up.
Yeah. We had another, I think it's the same creator, did a like Mario Kart style race against the others that also had a time component to it.
Yeah.
We've had people make Sudoku stages and Picross puzzle stages. Like,
wow.
It's just kind of been crazy to see how people have taken the very basic building blocks in this game.
Yes, especially with like the data size limit that you have, right? You can't get like too intricate, or else it's going to like get to 100% really quick. So people have come up with like some really cool ideas to skirt around that data size limit.
Efficient levels as well. Like it's crazy to think about someone making a level and then like going back and like optimizing it. It's like a weird thing to think about in a stage creator.
What's the thing in the stage creator that jumps up the limit the most?
Oh, I think motorized blocks.
I want to say or like motorized fans. Maybe motorized fans are towards the top.
Yeah, but you also have a limit on like how many pushable blocks, how many of like certain types of blocks that you can place. And now that we have the machines in the level creator, you're limited in terms of how many of those things you can place in a stage as well. So you can never really go too crazy. There are some campaign stages that you cannot recreate in the stage creator just because the limit is different.
Is that like to keep parity with the PS4?
In part, yeah. It's just to keep all the platforms that humanity is on kind of being the same, and just in terms also of the humans that can be displayed on screen at once per platform. So.
Oh yeah.
Have there been any instances where a certain combination of things that you might have not expected, or people kind of going out of their way to kind of break it because people don't deserve nice toys, and that everyone wants to try and push the limit. I think that's quite a human thing to want to do that. Have you encountered that?
Oh, of course, yeah, all the time. There are certain combinations of things that hadn't been tested when the game shipped, so when people got their hands on the stage creator and then combined those things, it broke certain other things. So the developers had to go back and fix those things. And there are still some things that are campaign that are not in here, in part because, once you start using them in custom creations, they break in unexpected ways. So there are still some things, even though we did add the machines, that are not in this, in part because of that limitation. It's like, when it's not a bespoke level that the level design made, it can lead to all kinds of crazy things.
Yeah. Well done.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with CJ. I did like this stage. Not every stage needs to be, like over the top or anything like that. And I feel like if you didn't get the Goldie there was like a more simple solution. But actually getting the Goldie there was a little tricky.
Yeah, the one thing I did like the fact that the goal is right by you, right at the beginning.
Oh, right.
There's no way to go for it without doing a whole like elaborate thing. Like I did. That was the one aspect I did like. I think the actual puzzle, I think I could have had the same level of aha moments and working it out while compact. Like, that's one I think could do with an editor, I think.
Yeah, but I agree with you. With the stages, don't all need to be, a brain busting, crazy difficult thing. Like the one that's actually inspired me the most was one that was uploaded when we had our interview, CJ, which was one with a rocket, and it was like kind of the surface of a planet, and then you pick up all of and then the rocket launchers, and that was just like, oh yeah, like if it's a good idea, that can carry it, which is really cool.
Yeah, that one's called Rocket Escape by Artsuri Mage, and that creator has made some really like beautiful looking stages that not necessarily have like a puzzle aspect to them, but are more like collected, like you were saying, collect up some people and then blast off in a rocket. That's the level, but it's so it's so nicely designed, right?
Yeah, of course.
So yeah, this is the stopwatch on the
what are we seeing?
Shiba cart. So TT for time trial, right?
On our screen.
Yes, I could act smart and act like I know exactly what's happening here. Well, okay, let's see. Yeah, I guess they set up a timer with like a human walking across. I assume 9 buttons here. Let's see, 5 or 10 buttons for the 0 for each digit, and then they have like probably one that's more delayed and connected to other timers. So yeah, they got this whole system going here using just walking humans to kind of create like a digital stopwatch, which is super cool. And then if you get under 20 seconds on this level, you get a Goldie, I guess is their message here.
It's surprisingly compact as well, considering what it's doing. I was expecting it to look, more Spaghetti Junction, with stuff, but they've managed to kind of do it in quite a compact way.
Yeah,
I see. So you're basically doing like a platforming.
Right. And you see how low of a time you can get, and there's like a few more difficult routes like that jump, which I made it. Okay.
You always got to go for the shortcut.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I think I got a 12 on this stage. And it's funny because even like small stages like this in our community, we're seeing how low we can get it, right? We were trying to go for that 11.
Conveyor belt. Actually, no, conveyor belts don't affect the dog, right? So I guess it wouldn't boost you. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah, conveyor belts only affect the humans. So.
Yeah.
But I assume something we talked about doing in the past, and maybe who knows in the future, is like some kind of like stage creator templates for people to use, right? It'd be nice if like we could have a way for people to like use the stopwatch, right, to kind of like start their level or something they could use without having to take the time to create this intricate tool, right?
Yeah, like not have to spend any budget on that stuff. If that's like a baked-in thing you can do. Now, I did actually do a thing, a surprisingly similar technique. I did a level. I think I might have showed you, Ollie. I didn't publish it because I never finished it. It was like a John Wick action scene where he's like busting into like a nightclub and jumps down slow-mo, and then like the way the others would enter to be dispatched was kind of like there was secret like others behind the scenes triggering like doors opening and sending them out. So I did play around with that, but nothing close to that timer.
Also, that digital clock, the way it worked, like there's something weird going on with like digital technology and manual technology kind of coming together, like something weird. There's like an interesting theme there that like I'm not smart enough to think about right now, but like the fact that that's like manually powered by someone walking is like crazy. But it's also in a game, so it's like
some kind of philosophical moment there happening in humanity.
Yeah, I get those a lot with this game.
So this is fetch. Yeah.
The infamous fetch.
What do you mean infamous? Infamous for being great.
Nope.
No, I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it negatively.
So yeah, would you like to
for those
explain
who-
your concept here, or CJ, if you want to introduce it?
Yeah, no, I was going to say, Ollie, please explain the concept of this stage. This is one of the stages that you guys did for us to judge, and you competed against Joe with this stage.
Yes, I did. So this was the stage of, if I can come up with one really good concept, it doesn't need to be that complicated, as long as it's a good idea. So basically, I was actually inspired by Joe's dogs running in the tall grass, because we had to do foliage, right? That was the theme that you set, foliage. So when the dogs are running in the tall grass in the field, like, you can't see them until they kind of jump up. So like, you'd throw a stick in and then they'd kind of run in, disappear into this field, and then come back. So I was like, I wonder if I can make a stage that replicates that. But the main problem I had was that you knew exactly where the human fetching humans, right? So I was like, I need to introduce an element of randomness, and if I can do that, that is something completely new that, as far as I know, has not been done. At that point, it may have been done better now, but it was completely random. So you basically have to release the humans in and try and crane your neck up and see where they land, so you can fetch them and bring them back to the starting point. Oh, not to the starting point, sorry. To the
I don't
goal.
think I've noticed the
So that
fans
was-
up here too, just to add to the
Yeah,
craziness.
they hopefully push them left and right. Hopefully.
That is the height my dogs jump in real life as well. So the inspiration was really, they got very agile dogs. So.
And you have those two giant floating fans in the field by your house as well that I was inspired by.
Oh, I lost
It was
one.
easy getting that planning permission through, but it's really added to our plot.
Yeah. And there's also, I think there's 6, maybe 15 or 16 humans, and you need 8. So you can let some of them go, but you can't let them all go. That's the other side of it.
Well, the beginner's mistake is to let them all go, which is what I
Yeah.
did the first time I played the stage.
Even now, I'm still having trouble navigating this. It's tricky, especially.
Quite
You're
smart
quite
use
zoomed
of
out, aren't you?
The foliage, though. I like this.
Mhm.
Thank you.
I think you
Well,
mentioned
yeah, I mean-
you didn't
sorry.
realize, because I remember you didn't realize that you could put the grass under the trees. Because I remember when you saw my, I can't remember if it was my regrow level or another level where I'd done that. You're like, how did you do that? And it's like, oh, you just
Yeah.
placed it. Like, I think you just assumed, because I think a lot of games, they wouldn't let you do that. It would be like, no, there's one object in this space. It's
Yeah.
like, maybe you would have put the grass underneath the trees if you had known, like maybe the
Well,
trees-
also, I think my
wow.
my budget is also maxed out because I started off with a huge square, and I couldn't fill it entirely with trees, so I was kind of cutting it off one row at a time until I could completely cover it.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I threw in a couple of those floating islands around the edge. I saw Joe's level, and I was like, "Oh, that's a good idea." So then I put these floating trees.
Oh,
around the
really?
edge.
You didn't mention that to me.
Well, enough time's passed now that it's fine.
Can't stay angry at you.
Yeah. Oh, and the glass is there, so you can't just jump straight over and grab them straight away.
All right.
Ruin it for yourself,
That's
basically.
smart. That's smart. Yeah, you got to think of those ways that people are going to cheese your level as you design and prevent that
Yeah.
from happening.
All right, we got all eight. Humans or ducks, if you want to be imaginative. But
Nice.
Very nice.
to your point, this
done.
this stage inspired me with the Shiba Game Fest that we ran, where you try to imitate other games. I would love to see a duck hunt stage of some kind, like from the NES
yeah.
version. And I was trying to think of cool ways to do that. If you could like somehow shoot out, and if you have to like hit the duck and collect something out of it, right?
Yeah.
Or put like
Yeah. I
a
guess-
switch in it or something.
You could do something similar, but have the human glass wall, so it's 2D. Maybe, because you know how he kind of runs back and then he stands
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
I don't know what the other part of that is, but that's one where you could.
Because the powerful like horizontal fans with like a little up, like there's one level which was just all about that. It's just satisfying launching you really fast. I remember that was a level I played a while ago, and that was just fun. Just going that fast like is just entertaining. So I think that would be a way you'll do it.
Okay, now we have Regrow, which Joe is your stage. You wanna tell us about the concept behind this one?
Yeah, so this is the original floating islands with trees on concept. Despite the order we played it, the chronologically this one's first. Yeah, so the idea of this one is kind of like it's meant to be, as much as I could tell in a single humanity stage. It's kind of a concept of like there's a beautiful forest, humans show up, the forest is gone, and then there's just one tree left, and the idea is you plant the tree and then that's regrowing the forest. So that was the concept of the story I had. And so basically you will see, spoiler alert momentarily, as soon as the humans reach the middle, the trees go, and then the idea of the underneath is it's meant to be a bit like a factory, so it's conveyor belts and fans. And then this was my first time, like most of my other levels were based around just one core concept, like the single file one, or this is the level which is about jumping or whatever. And this is was my attempt to make more of like a multi-stage one. So there's almost kind of 3 levels in one stage. There's this level which is about the fans, there's a conveyor belt section, and then there's the bit at the end which is navigating through the trees. So it was my idea to try and make like something that seemed of like a bigger scale, I suppose. And I didn't quite, I think trying to do that, it kind of muddied it a little bit, and kind of it might have hurt it in the long run, but that was the idea for what I was going for.
Now, did you kind of build each of these sections as you went, or did you have an idea for each of these sections beforehand, or like how did you structure that?
Yeah, so I built just obviously the tree section I built first, so I kind of did the final puzzle first. I placed the tree that I knew that you were going to drop down, which will allow the humans to not press the button. I did that first because that was kind of key, and I knew that would have to be my endpoint where the rest would have to reach. And then I did the rest. So I actually, this is version 2. This puzzle section that you're on now originally was completely different, and then I was never happy with it, and I kept changing, and eventually I was like, it's going to be easier just to delete this and start again. So I do have a version 1 that I never uploaded. But then I just kind of did the fan section, and then I wanted to emphasize the factory idea, so I was like, conveyor belts will be another option. But then I was also very conscious that I didn't want a failed, like there's a failure state with the fan section where you can get to a point where you can't complete it, but I was fine with that because it's right at the beginning. And then so I wanted the conveyor belt bit to be a little bit more easier, and it's more of like, I've got past that bit, and it's that you can't really do it wrong. It's more just the satisfaction of completing it was the idea.
Yeah, I think I did overstep here, actually. I assume I need to use this fan to get across to that gap. But I really do like these fan jumps, by the way. Like this one here is kind of like, it's kind of odd how they, go up and they're still like walking to the left when they get up on that.
Yeah, it's fun. You
funny.
just got to keep playing around with positioning and the power to get it right. It looks a little bit goofy, but it is just kind of satisfying to watch, I think.
I think it's been long enough that I have to kind of resolve this stage too, so.
Yeah, this is a great stage, Joe. I think in terms of my accidental philosophical thinking with this game, this one is just, it's so good. This might actually be my favorite humanity stage. I love this stage. It's so clever. And every time I tell someone about it, they go, that's so good. And I'm like, yeah, I know.
It's funny, we always joke. So Ollie's always like, I tend to take things at a little bit more of face value than Ollie does. And Ollie's a little bit more of a tinfoil hat person. And
No, that's the wrong. I'm a deep thinker. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm just a deep thinker.
I'm joking. No, like, so it's great. You'll play a game or watch a TV show, and you'll be really kind of analyzing the meaning behind them, and kind of And the reason we kind of joke about it is I feel like sometimes you state them as fact. This is what they are when it's not guaranteed. So I feel like maybe this one was satisfying for you because the meaning was actually true because I said it.
Oh.
Nice. I think that's it. It's been too long. I wouldn't really be able to help you, to be honest.
Yeah. That was a very cool setup, though, with the double fans there. And then, it kind of turns into a conveyor maze from there, which I feel like we don't see too often. We have some really cool conveyor maze stages, but it can be kind of tricky to not make a conveyor maze that's like too simple. It's like it's hard to make it difficult. Like
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's either you could fail it and have to restart it, and that's where the difficulty would be, or there is follow your finger along the maze and find the one route. I think the higher level has a bit of a twist because it has the movable block with the climbable wall, which means you can't push it on certain sides, so that adds a bit more complexity, but it is ultimately quite simple. It was more for the aesthetic, and I think the fan bit, I think it maybe is a little, not too difficult, but maybe a little bit confusing to work out at a glance. And then I think this is a bit more as like a bit of a reward puzzle.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing with mazes is like, 99% of the time they have one solution. So it's like, you're not like, oh, I figured it out my way. It's kind of like, that's what you're saying about it's hard to make them difficult or easy because it's binary, right? Like you've either solved it or you haven't. There's not really like a meandering kind of, should I try this? Should I try this? It's like you've either done it or not.
Yeah.
I think there's only a few that have been. Yeah, it's difficult to kind of get past that binary aspect, right? Even at that, the more complicated ones still have that binary feel, like a lot of backtracking and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think there's one called Team Rocket Hideout that one of our Discord moderators made. That's like supposed to be similar to like the old Pokemon mazes, right?
Yeah, where you like.
Yeah, it's a bit tricky to get all the goldies on it. Or you have to sit there and kind of backtrack for a while because it is binary, but you still have to put some thought into it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they were like. But I remember they're so slow. If you go back and play them now, like I think they were quite fun. But there's like the original Pokemon ones. So if you make a wrong move, you're like, okay, well, I'm gonna have to sit here and watch.
Like in
spinning around
in Mount Moon or whatever the other one was. Yeah. Oh, okay, that is okay.
You can't. I don't think you can mess that block up. Well, maybe you can. I don't think you can. Though.
I don't think so. Yeah.
No, I think I designed it so you couldn't knock that block off. If you can, that's unintentional.
Joe, have you uploaded that stage that's like the one that you have to keep bouncing?
The one where you're kind of just delaying time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's pretty my second.
That is a good
one I've done.
stage.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have played that one.
Is that Space Base? Is that
no?
Wait, what is it called?
There's this one. It's probably something about. I think it might be called About Time. Is that what it's called? Is that what it's called?
Oh, that's a good. If it isn't, that's a good name.
It's probably got time in the name. It's a game. It's like you need to find a way to just delay while a block is like it's kind of like a timer, but it's a visual time. It's just a block slowly making its way down conveyor belts, and you kind of need to reach there. And it's a start-stop one, so you need to kind of keep the humans busy before it arrives.
Yeah, that's a great stage.
Interesting. Huh. Is it Just You Wait?
Just
Looking at your stage
wait.
names.
Just You Wait, yes. About Time is a better name.
I think Just You Wait works. It's kind of
Just
it's
You
quite
Wait.
literal. Yeah, there was a comment about someone Swinder's Alive saying I always love the level names that have little puns or secrets to the solutions in the names, and I always enjoy that as well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I love that you had a story for this stage. I didn't get that the first time around with the factory and the idea of regrowing the forest. I guess that gets lost, like unless you're actively in the community. Explain your stage.
Yeah, and I
does
think
get
it's you're
lost.
going into it not expecting the story. Like, I think when you go through the story mode, you are, like I was saying, what Ollie does, you are really analyzing it and you are thinking, what is the message here? And I don't think you're normally expecting that for a user stage. You're kind of not in that mindset. You're in the
Yeah.
let's solve this
Yeah.
thing mindset. So I think that's probably why I don't think anyone's naturally picked up on it.
Yeah,
true.
for sure.
So, Ollie, you said you're the deep thinker. You like to analyze the story. What did you think about humanity's story? What caught you about? What are your thoughts on the there?
I just found it to be very touching, and I think it's because you're spending a lot of time watching the humans kind of just walking around. Like, say you're trying to get them to somewhere, and you've already set up all of your arrows. You're then watching them march on, and like when you do look at something like that for long enough, it does start to make you think about, like, you know, who are these people? I am responsible for these people. Like, even though losing them doesn't do anything, like, it's not bad to lose them, I would still be like, I can't possibly lose them because I am responsible for leading them on to wherever it is they're supposedly going. They're not going to get there without me. And I found, like, I don't know, I found it to be very, like, a touching idea. And then also, I don't want to spoil the story, like, where it does go, but, like, the ending was also very nice, the way it kind of comes together.
And I guess with time, it's become like increasingly relevant, the story of the game. Like, over, obviously, it's this, you know, it had such a long development, but it's, you know, I feel like it's only within, you know, the last few years, it's just become more and more relevant. I guess maybe not say any more for those, you know, that haven't played it yet. I assume most people in this stream probably have, but just in case someone hasn't, you know, they've just been doing user stages and haven't done the story.
Yeah.
It's true. So we're playing the Just You Wait stage right now.
Yeah, I get the concept now.
We're
It's
just
kind of a cool
describing.
idea. That so I guess this block on the conveyor belt is our timer. We have to kind of delay our humans as long as possible, right? Until that opens up.
What I like about that method is it's because it's like, if you fail, if you know, don't wait for long enough, you can see exactly where the block is when you run out of time, basically. So you're like, okay, I need like one more corner to delay, or oh, it was so close, how could I, you know, gain an extra half second out of the, like, it's very visual, like, for what you need to do to achieve, and I think that kind of worked well.
Yeah, I think this
I'll have
stage,
to add this to the playlist that we have up as well for the stream, so that people can check it out.
I think it took me 28 minutes. So if you got your 10-minute timer, you're going to be pushed on this one.
Well, I was going to say, you can tell Austin how many levels you've played, because when you were playing it, you were like, oh, how many blocks is the small jump and how many blocks is the long jump, and trying to, you know, like, that was a thing I kind of had to keep reminding you, as Austin, like, you know, you haven't even tested it yet, you're just like, no, I'm going to place everything down, and I know how this game works inside out.
I could be preemptively doing this, right? Because I might have to scrap the whole system. That's one issue with this, like, trial and error kind of approach, right?
All or nothing you're going.
Right. Yeah, because I feel like this right system might work okay, but I'm not sure which area I need to go to first just yet. But sometimes I can get, like, if I don't have something in place already, it can be hard to visualize the entire system, right, of commands needed. So I do like sometimes to just kind of go at it and see what happens for start switch stages.
Do you, because obviously you Tetris Effect, you're having tournaments and stuff like that. Do you think we'll see humanity at, like, Games Done Quick or anything like that?
That would be super cool. We do have some pretty active speedrunners in the community already, and
We do.
it's actually kind of tricky to speedrun the story mode because you have to, like, hold fast forward the whole time to be as optimal as possible, right? So
Yeah, I guess it's a genuine platforming challenge, isn't it?
yeah, pretty much, especially with the follow stages, and then just being able to hit those commands as precisely as possible, right? We have
I was thinking it would be all strategy, but no, it's like mechanical input as well. I guess is super important.
it is interesting. I think it's still, they're continually, like, Well, it's getting pretty close now, but yeah, they're still like finding routes too and stuff like that, right? Because there's like 100% route where you get all the goldies, or just like 80%. And you know how there's like different stages you can choose at different times, right? So you can like figure out which stage is quicker than other stages. So it's kind of fun to watch. I am curious to see
what sort of like ballpark like the top runners are like you could say like 2 hours or 10 minutes, and I would believe either way with speedrunners.
There was actually a new world record posted, I think, or at least documented last night. I saw
really
an hour and 11 minutes.
Oh,
that's crazy.
I watched it and could not believe some of the optimizations that this runner had made. To the point where they were using the technique where the dog pushes humans ahead.
Oh, yeah.
And doing that for some of the routes, it was really super interesting.
That's so cool. I was thinking it must be like, you know, when you see some Portal speedruns and like not all of this like jumping backwards business, but like the fact that some of the puzzles can be solved in a quicker way, like a different way that wasn't intended.
Yeah.
So there must be some stuff like that as well for humanity.
Yeah, there were some where they were pushing the humans forward, and then they would route one human to go get a goldie and the rest somewhere else. So it was like the amount of multitasking that was going on in this run was absolutely crazy. And but there were some stages where this person went direct to the goal. This was an any percent run, so they didn't even bother with any of the goldie and went right to the goal. And it was like the quickest solve ever on some of those early stages, like switch hitter. I think if you don't get the goldie, very, very quick, just direct line up to the goal. But very interesting to watch. I'll have to link that on
I'd
Twitter.
love to see that. So apparently, according to, sorry, the names are so small. I think it's like SG Ferox. They said that times are around 1 hour 10%, 1 hour 10 minutes, sorry, for any percent, and then for 100%, so I guess that's the goldies, 1 hour 30, which is actually what's surprising is how little of a difference. I thought getting the goldies would add a lot of time. It's amazing how, I mean, I know in speedrunning terms 20 minutes is a lot of time.
It is,
But like I expected, you know, it to take twice as long to get the gold. It took me twice as long to get the goldies than it would be to complete a stage.
Yeah, and even watching the 110 runs, I think there's probably a lot of optimizations that could be done even with that, even though that it's already very quick. When I'm watching that run, I'm like, oh, well, you could have done this, or what about that?
Well, CJ, you can do it, mate. You can do it.
No. My speedrunning days are
the talk, CJ.
I'm going to delete this stream after we're done with it. Nobody will know.
Or you'll see just a very small cut at this section.
CJ Ferox is saying, "Oh, the ceiling hasn't been reached yet." It seems like there's more optimization to be eked out.
Definitely.
And of course, we would love to see.
I want to make sure we play Space before we stage.
Yeah, I'll have to come back to this. You know what? I don't think I beat the 10-minute timer on this stage, so kudos on
true.
Space,
which is your first beans stage.
Yeah, it's basically me experimenting with the new to me mechanics that were added in the
lasers, turrets.
Is this a new background as well?
It is, yes. Yeah, we added one new background. Cosmos is the name of it. Yeah, that you can.
It's great. It's a great background. When I saw that, I was like,
God, I bet it looks good in VR.
What I'm picking.
Yeah, I think
it really is. Yeah.
This is kind of to everyone. Do you pick a background and will that affect the level, or do you make a level and then try and do it the other way? Like what? You know, what's both of yours thinking?
I like to pick a theme first, because if I don't pick it first, I will forget to do it at all, and it'll just be the default. So yeah, I do that first. That's like first step. I go into the creator, go right to theme.
Yeah, I think I start with theme as well. Especially if I have an idea in mind, like say I want to make a pirate ship level, I'll start with like a ocean theme or something like that. But if I try to like build around the theme, or be true to the theme. So my last stage I made was like a desert stage. I made a little oasis puzzle, right?
Nice.
Yeah, I feel like I tend to build around the theme, and then of course puzzle ideas will come as I'm like trying to make something, like some kind of physical look to the stage.
Once I got to that stage, once I unlocked the suits in the story mode, that's when it was like, okay, we're making Matrix stages now. And like, I was laughing because Joe showed me his city stage first, and like we'd literally done the same thing. Like I showed him the elevator action one afterwards. It was like we'd even put the same blocks of like to make fake buildings, but it's like it just lends itself well to building skyscrapers, right? Like it's grey blocks. They look fine. Like the city background blends with it really well.
Especially
But for
with
my
the columns, where you can just do them
yeah.
like, you know, kind of down to infinity, or you know what looks like.
Yeah, my D-Day one uses the red, the like Mars surface, because it's supposed to be like intense. But yeah, so that's pretty cool.
That is such an intense background too, and it's only used in like 3 or 4 stages in the story mode, but it's a very nice background to use for custom stages. I like that one.
You're smashing this, by the way, Austin. I kind of looked away for a bit, and I looked back at.
Oh, I think I messed up just there, though.
Yeah, you might have just dug a pit there.
You jinxed it. I thought I was doing well.
You definitely got it.
So yeah, I guess when you... Oh, okay, and then I guess you could probably stack the blocks. I assume that's what needs to be done. Okay. We'll give it another try here.
It kind of reminds me of the 2 tower level from Unreal Tournament. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Oh,
the original
bridge
Unreal
in the
Tournament, there
middle.
was like,
Yeah.
these 2 towers, and it's like over the world like that.
Yeah, that's the best awful level in any game. The most fun, really bad level.
I like that level.
Well, no, it's great. It's really fun, but it's like it's fun for 2 people. The people on the tower with the sniper.
Yeah.
Everyone else is dying.
Oh, it looks like Knighting in the chat might have done this stage a different way different to the way it was intended, even.
There's no wrong way. If it came at the end and said a big tick, you did it.
Was my solve looking similar to what you had in mind, Joe?
I'll be honest. As I said, I was kind of just chatting, and then I looked up, and you'd almost solved it. So I'll be honest, I wasn't paying attention. So I think what you just did there, and what my partner did. So originally, my idea was to do an idea that was in the story mode, where you use one block to block the other laser, and the way you do, and that was my intention. But then, when my partner played it, they didn't do that, and they just used kind of a different method, and I kind of didn't really have time to change it, so I was like, it's fine, whatever way people want to do it is fine.
I just had the idea to split the humans here.
Yeah, actually, on that, there's an idea that Ollie mentioned in our podcast, which I tried making a level for, but I struggled. So you really mentioned how you loved the, I don't remember what it's called now, but like where they split paths, where you can kind of get them to diverge. And you were saying that you kept doing in levels, you kept placing them down and splitting them into thinner and thinner packs, and you kind of assumed there'd be a time where you'd need that, but in the story mode, at least, that never really came up. So I tried a level where it's almost like a flat pyramid, where you're kind of constantly separating. You start off with one big group and you're spreading them out thinner and thinner. But I could never, like, it was quite a cool thing to do, but I could never get it into an interesting puzzle. I was wondering whether either of you came across a level that uses kind of having a big crowd and gradually thinning them out, you know, to spread them out, or, you know, for whatever reason.
Yeah, there are a couple like that. Most recently, there's one that was called like a train platform. What is it? It's like Changing Trains, I think is the name of it, if I remember correctly. But anyway, it's like 2 trains where the goals are. So there's something like 12 goals or something in this stage. And you have on the bottom floor all of these people emerging from one train, and you have to get them into the other one. And basically they converge at a certain point, but then you have to branch them to get them into all 12 or however many goals there are. And you have to make sure that the flow of each line is enough to actually activate the goal at the end. So it becomes quite a difficult puzzle in terms of like making sure they divide correctly.
That's exactly what I was trying to do, but wasn't
Yeah.
smart enough to work out. That sounds excellent.
Yeah. See if I can remember the name of that one.
Well, I think
Also,
we might
well done
hop
on that.
into.
I saw you pass that.
Oh.
Well done.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah, I think we might hop into some stage creator before we close out the stream as well, because I know
Let's do it.
Ollie had some ideas, and I guess we'll see how the 4 masterminds here come together to create a stage. But you had an idea for a coin pusher stage, correct?
Yes, you say 4 masterminds. My thing is like I basically like throw a grenade into a room and then shut the door. Like, and I will give you the idea, and then I am fully hands off. I had an idea for I don't know what they're officially called, but like a coin pusher, I think is what they're called, where you put the coins in and then they go down, and there's like these moving shelves, and you're trying to get as many out the bottom as possible. I started to actually, the first stage I made ever was I started to try and make one of these, but in my silliness and my new playerness, I didn't really understand how the floor switches worked, like turning them on and off. But my initial idea had 2 doors that were activated by a switch, so you had 2 drop points for your humans, and you could get them to go in, but then pressing them also, I think it activated some others a bit lower down that would thin the numbers out if you weren't quick enough. And then basically at the very bottom, there'd be an amount that you had to get all the way down through getting pushed and falling to clear the stage. That was my general idea, if that is clear and understandable. Oh, and another thing I ran into is you can't have them fall too far because they die. So you have to bring them down bit by bit. Yeah.
Unless you give them float, and then they can fall.
Straight away. There we go.
All right.
Yeah, so my initial one, what I did to begin with is I just used those like infinite height ones, but I was building everything way too big. But I did a row of like 10 of those infinite height ones to board. But obviously, whatever you think.
Infinite height, I'm sorry, for the block pillars?
So like the tower block, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so they were like the backboard.
Okay.
No, I think you can get them going up. Can you get them going upwards, or can you?
Oh,
drag
yeah,
that
you're
top
right.
as
So,
high as it
yeah, you can
goes?
go to...
Yeah.
I guess the if we were going to include Goldies, they could be like the keychain or whatever. It's like the little prize that's always among them. Are these things like as popular in America as they are here? Because they're like everywhere over here, and like loads of them.
Yeah. They're pretty popular.
Okay.
So we
Modern
have...
arcades here have at least a few coin pusher areas.
Yeah, it's kind of all them, and then like the token luck games now. It's quite sad what arcades have become.
Have you played the Pac-Man coin pusher that has a screen in the back? And it's like a match 3 puzzle while you're doing the... It's very good, but it is 20p a go, so it is quite expensive. Yeah, in terms of coin pushers, it's quite expensive.
Pac-Man's got a family to feed.
Interesting.
He does, doesn't he?
Miss Pac-Man, Baby Pac, Pac-Man Jr.
Yeah.
They're all... There's no...
I don't think he's legally with Pac-Man, is he? Isn't it Pac-Mum now?
That's the thing, is he lost everything.
Oh, you're
in the
right. It's
divor-
Pac-Mom.
He lost everything in the
Pac-Mum, yeah.
divorce. That's the thing. That's
Oh
why
my
he's got to turn to these gambling methods to get his money back.
So I guess right now I'm going
Austin.
with I'm trying to think of like a structure for a coin pusher, right? Not so much the intricacies that we're going to have to come across here, but...
Yeah, are we going to worry about this being a level to solve, or are we just going to make the visual of the coin pushing? So I feel like that's
Maybe-
kind of 2 very different things.
Maybe start with the visual, and then if it looks like it's working,
Yeah,
put a thing down the bottom that is a goal.
yeah,
Not
that's
a
kind of
bad
what I did with
idea.
the Pallet Town one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure how you would... I guess you could like throw coins into it at certain spots, so I guess it could be like interactive that way.
Well, I was thinking if you had floors that could be activated and more people could fall in, maybe they could fall in onto a slope and then down into the center.
I've
or
got
something
an
like that.
idea. What if it's
Yeah.
like there's like the goldies or humans that are in there already? The coin pusher mechanism is kind of already going to a point, but it doesn't push them off the edge fully. And then you're launching with a fan mechanism, the people, but they're already thinking to walk back in the direction. So when they land, they'll walk, and then the people around them will kind of follow the crowd to walk. Does that make sense? I don't know if I described that well.
I don't think they would follow the. I don't think they wouldn't follow one guy. Would they? He would just walk
I
through
think
the
a
middle of them.
Goldie would a Goldie follow a single human?
Yes.
A Goldie would.
Yeah.
So okay. So
I mean, unless the other ones are kind of maybe the goal is to get the Goldies, and the other ones are there just for like the visual of the coins. But the goal is maybe almost like something similar to your mechanism you did on Fetch with the launcher, where you're trying to time to launch the human so it would line up with a Goldie to kind of collect it in the pot. Would be a way to make it as a playable thing.
Well, should we? Okay, I think for now let's focus on the visual of like building the machine.
Yeah,
'cause
sure.
We're almost there, and then once we've figured that out,
So I was thinking we could
mean,
have
already
like goals at the bottom, but yeah, is there any coin pusher visual you have in mind here?
well, I always like the ones that have the split in the middle. So you go in, and then there's a split in the center.
Okay.
So when they go in, it could go. So my initial
Right.
design, that's what I did.
Okay.
You know what I
want that
mean, right,
Pac-Man
Joe?
One. I want you to make the Pac-Man one. Yeah, I know what you mean. So it's also that thing to the side. It's because they push most of the coins down the side, but people don't realize
Yeah.
that. That's how they make their money. Is they get half the coins back.
Did anyone think about this before we did it? Except for me.
I didn't give it too much.
No.
I had an idea. Like
Yeah.
I guess what I was thinking about was like how we want to actually have the coins get pushed, right? And I feel like if you have one way to do it would be to use like pre-placed stage commands and I guess like overflow them in some way, right? So that the humans would be our coins, quote unquote.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I'm
Yeah, I
trying to
mean, I suppose they wouldn't have to be launched from a fan. They could be at the top, and then just drop down and walk. But then you're kind of choosing which, there's some sort of timing to choose which one drops. Because that's kind of what
Right.
the coin thing is. All you have control is the timing of when you put it in. I think if we are going to do it as a gameplay thing, that would be a cool thing to translate into this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we could use a motorized block somehow to do that. I do have an idea.
Could you do like so? Sorry, everyone's throwing ideas in here. I feel so sorry for Austin right now. I'm trying to. What I did in my one was I had doors that could only spit up to 10 people, and then it would
Okay.
stop. And then I
Okay.
had underneath them glass floors, and you were standing back on a platform, and you could remove the glass floor, and that made them fall into the machine. And then once they were in, if they perished, more people would walk out and fill up the glass floor again. That was my initial idea. I don't know if it would have worked like that, but that was what I was trying to do.
Yeah, it's hard to wrap my head around that. So, okay.
Because you can have the door only spit out like 10 people, right? And then
Yeah,
stop.
that's right.
And then once those people disappear, it will spit out another 10 if they fall off the stage.
Oh, okay. So I don't know if you can limit it that way.
don't know if
Oh, okay,
I
maybe you
think
couldn't do
just
that. That
do
was
10, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I don't. I was. This is my first ever idea. So
Oh,
I
that's
don't know what
okay.
I'd do.
Yeah, I think so. You can limit like, gate limit, right? You can set it to 10 people, but I think it's like when that 10's done, that gate is done as well.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Okay, I see.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
no,
think
fair enough.
the only way you would do it is if you had hidden somewhere like loads of people just to reach the human limit, and so then when they fall off, more would come out because it's the human limit. That would be a gimmicky way to do it, but would
God.
maybe work.
Yeah.
So I was thinking we could use this goal could go left and right to be our coin chute, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So we
Mhm.
could attach this to some kind of motorized block.
Yeah. Then would there be a way to like press to choose when they come out though, or would they just?
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking.
That's what I did on Fetch.
There would, yeah.
Let's try that out. So
I feel like you're very good at like I'm not very good at like bothering to group things and organize. It's like in Photoshop, like I ain't naming my layers and stuff. So I feel like it's interesting watching just your method of building.
Yeah, and everyone goes about it a different way, right? Because we've had like guest creators on our stream that Parsec in as well, and they go about it differently too. And I'm like, oh, that's like a cool system, or a cool approach to like creating routes and whatnot, or how you first approach a stage. I feel like people do it very differently.
Yeah, and I think it's very different, like what we're doing, watching and shouting ideas compared to like. I feel like you almost like, you know, it's like trying to solve a physical puzzle. You need to hold it and look at it, but if someone else is showing it, you kind of can't work it out. I feel like it's kind of harder, like especially even solving them. It's sometimes like when we were playing Ollie, like the demo, and you would be like, "Oh, what do you think I need to do?" And I'd be like, can I give me the controller? And I'm just going to look around and do exactly what you were going to do. But just in some way being a control, it kind of just helps your headspace to be able to work these things out.
Yeah.
I mean, this is looking good already.
Yeah, I'm feeling good about this. I think it might turn out
Yeah.
pretty cool. And I was thinking we could use motorized blocks that move slowly to kind of like push humans further or push them off even.
Yeah, the only thing with that is what's the limit, the budget limit going to be like?
I think we'll be okay. At least we started small, and then.
I'm afraid to say, Ollie, Knighting in the chat on Twitch said there are 2 or 3 coin pushing stages I remember playing. So I guess our goal isn't to do the first; it's to do the best. So that's what we're going for.
And I'm sure there's some tough competition, knowing our creators.
Absolutely.
man.
Yeah.
It's all right. We're kind of speedrunning too. Like this is something I feel like a coin pusher too. You could spend hours trying to make it look as cool as possible, right?
I wonder, Knighting, if you know any of those levels, if you can remember their names. I know it might be difficult now, or the creators. It would be interesting after we do this, so it doesn't affect our creation here. It would be kind of cool to see what the community's already done with this idea. Would be interesting.
Is Knighting your level 99?
It is, yes. So
Yes.
they're very familiar with the Humanity Library.
Yeah. They can remember all of the stages they ever did. All of them, recall them.
Yeah, I think Knighting themselves played like 4,100 plus stages out of the catalog. And we have 5,500 stages in there now, and yeah, Knighting has played most of them.
Are they part of like the moderation team?
No, Knighting is just part of our player community.
Oh wow. Get them on the moderation team. They're playing them all anyway.
Yeah, right.
There's an opportunity.
You have an
there.
interesting point there.
Yeah, it's crazy to me that Knighting reached level 99 before, like, you, CJ.
Right. Yeah. He plays everything. I don't play everything.
Yeah, fair.
Have you reached 99 now?
No, I'm far away from 99. In part because I'm split over 2 platforms. Like I play on PlayStation and Steam, so my XP is like 2 different places, depending. Because when we stream, we're playing on PC, but when I'm playing just for fun, I'm playing on PlayStation 5. So
What was the
everything's kind of split up.
the thought behind kind of the gamification of like that system of kind of creating and playing levels, and you know, obviously it's nice kind of unlocking like the new emblems, like was that the plan from the beginning, or is that kind of something that come later? You thought maybe to encourage people to check it out. Yeah, I don't know if you remember how those conversations started, if you were in the room for them.
I was not in the room, but that was something that they added fairly late in development, and mainly as encouragement for people to play stages and create stages. And there are no achievements or trophies related to either playing or creating, so they instead came up with this kind of metagame system where you could level up playing stages, and you'd get more XP for playing stages that were rated as more difficult than others, just to in part discourage people from making like easy XP stages.
Yeah,
and
of course.
just spamming that, which we still get a lot of that.
So I actually that was that one. You know, I mentioned that idea where the one block wide one, where I said you were going to walk and the exit's right there. My original idea for that level was to call it something like Easy Goldie or something, and so it looks like that's what it is, but it isn't. Because as soon as it looks like it's just a straight line to the Goldie, but then you press the button and then you drop down and it actually is. And in the end, I think I came up with a more clever place for the Goldie and then ended up changing the name when the one block wide thing stopped. But my goal was to bait and switch people that are just after those easy experience points.
Yeah. A lot of people make those stages, but they don't realize, or maybe the people playing them don't realize that really the person getting XP for those is the creator of the level, not the player. It's sort of a reversal on that. Like the player is getting very minimal XP, whereas the creator is getting a lot or a decent amount of XP from that.
Yeah, I think I'm getting close to level 50, but I think that's entirely because of how generous you've been with sharing some of our stages has given me a big boost rather than naturally getting there like 19 has.
It is well deserved, and that 19 is the player level 99. His creator level is still inching upwards, but not at 9. We don't have a max level creator yet. Just player at this point.
Would you guys, while Austin is meticulously putting the stage together, would you like to do my humanity quiz?
Great idea.
Oh yes, let's do that.
It's only 4 questions, so I don't know if there could be a tie. I don't know. I've also hidden Joe because I can't bear to look at him because I bet he's cringing right now at my quiz. All right, okay. Are you ready? Is everyone ready?
Yes.
Put these 3 countries in order of population: Ethiopia, Nepal, and Japan. And obviously talk amongst yourselves so you figure it out.
Okay, so is it me and CJ, or are we all 3 in on this?
Or just see if you can figure it out between you. Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like Japan's a bait. I think everyone
so.
thinks of like Tokyo and just how populated Tokyo is. But obviously, I don't know. You guys will know better than me for like the rural regions. I'm sure you've visited there many times, you know, through enhanced related things. The other 2, I have no idea. I got to be honest.
Off the top of my head, I feel like the answer I would have would be Japan, then Nepal, then Ethiopia from highest to lowest population. But
I think I might go the reverse.
Really?
Like the exact reverse of that, because like Joe said, I think Japan is a bait.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. Too. I agree with that.
Tokyo's the most populated city, right? So I think maybe that's what he's kind of trying to trick us with. Look at his cheeky little face. Of course he is. Look
I
at
chose
him.
Japan because of Enhance. It's not a bait. Right. Shall I reveal the answer? Anyone in the chat want to try and guess? I'm going to give you 10 seconds to get you to type your answers out. I see Knighting's already in there.
Wait, what are we saying? Austin, you already had your guess. I had my guesses, reverse of yours.
Yeah, I feel like that's the guess that I agree with Joe that I'm getting duped right now, but that would be my logical gut instinct.
You're a willing participant
yes.
in the
I'll be the one that gets duped here.
So 19 thinks Ethiopia at the top, then Japan, and then Nepal least populated.
Right. I will reveal to you now. Number 1 is Ethiopia with 126 million people.
Ah.
Then in second is Japan with 123 million people. There's only 3 million people off. And then in last place is Nepal with 30 million. So Knighting was bang on.
Wow, all right.
No baits.
Top
I'm just
dog.
being. None of my questions are trick questions. They're all just standard questions.
I think think for me, they would all be trick questions. Well, we've done quizzes in the past, and mine are always like trick questions, aren't they?
Okay, I've got another one. What is the longest distance moved in a conga line?
Wow.
And you can do miles or kilometers. I've got both.
Is that a single conga line, or just like could it? Is it, or is it that just two like sprinters holding like one?
I
Holding
think
the
it was.
other
I
one's
think
wrist?
it was about 10 people in a conga line moving.
Now, is this the longest conga line formed or the longest distance traveled by the conga line?
Distance.
Distance, okay.
Yeah.
So small conga line, big distance.
Big distance.
I think it's going to be like something like 70 miles or something ridiculous.
It gotta be something like that, right?
Yeah, it's not going to be like a mile or something. It's not going to be like, oh, they
No.
did 3 laps of the garden. It's going to be like a crazy amount to be worth bringing up. I'm going to go 70 miles.
Ooh, that's pretty far.
Yeah,
Well, of
maybe
course, a
35.
conga line that is trying for the record on
Right.
this is going to go pretty far.
Well, I have trouble biking 70 miles in a day. That seems kind of far.
Is that a tandem bike? Because that would be the equivalent.
Well, I used to do like distance.
holding it.
I used to do distance bike tours, so I kind of have like,
Right.
unless they really were at it, that would have been a
Yeah, have I
hardcore
gone
dedicated
too
group.
high here?
How long would this conga line be? Does because if it's
Well,
a
what's
small
the
group of
definition
people,
of a conga line? Is it
right?
3 people?
Okay, so it's about 10 people, and I can tell you that they danced. They danced the whole way.
Oh, that's it. Okay, my 70 miles is looking a little bit
Okay,
crazy.
because I was thinking of like a bigger group, but if it's like a small dedicated group of like pro runners or something they have the endurance for it.
Yeah.
I could also see Joe's 70 guess be a little stronger here.
Yeah, I think maybe a bit. I'd say maybe more like 40. If they're dancing, I'm gonna maybe tone mine down to 40.
Right. We've had.
I think I'm gonna.
a lot. Go on, yeah.
I'll take Joe's number of 70. I'll
taking my
take the
spot?
70 position.
I left it open. The
Then.
seat's still warm for you.
I'll take 50. I'm feeling like 50 or 55. Yeah.
Okay, we had some guesses in the chat as well. T3K Sum said 20 miles. Knighting said 22.4, which is a marathon. Helen said 26 miles, and I can reveal to you now the answer is in fact 15.53 miles or 25 kilometers. Bang on.
15.5.
I think they were the-
barely got started. Then doesn't sound impressive now.
Yeah,
after our
exactly.
I think we
guesses,
could break
does it?
this if we want to give it a go.
No, this is what I'm saying.
Is this our call to action?
Yeah.
We all have to get together and do this conga line
Yeah.
thing. We can do 70 miles. Come on.
Yeah.
We can. Yeah.
Is there a conga line stage in humanity? Has anyone tried to do a humanity?
They're all
conga-
kind of.
Yeah, I guess
In their own
everyone.
way.
That's why I
Yeah.
did the question. Okay. Have we got time for two more? Two more questions?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Okay. Which of these is not a real call for a sheepdog? Come by, buy your own, or away to me. Do you want to? Shall I read it? Shall I read it again?
Yeah.
Which of these is not a real call for a sheepdog? Come by, buy your own, or away to me.
Buy your own.
I think away to me. I think the first one I think I've heard. The second one, it sounds like it almost is too weird for Ollie to have come up with. And so the last one sounds legit, but I'm going to go with that one. So away to me is my guess.
What was the second one again?
Buy your own.
I
Which
think
people
that
are
one's
writing.
the,
People are writing in the chat. Buy as in like money, but it's like buy as in, like an author. Like buy.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
you're saying
I was
every
thinking
time we're in the
that.
pub, Ollie.
Buy your own.
Around. Yeah.
Okay. So. Yeah, it's not buy your own. It's buy your own. Yes, thank you, Knighting. Okay, got a few answers in the chat as well.
They're laughing about that. It does
Yeah.
really change the
Yeah.
context.
It
From the
does.
dog.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm just gonna reveal it. The answer, the fake sheepdog call is buy your own.
Oh, nice.
It is.
Nice job, CJ.
Come by means to run down my right side, and away to me means to run down my left side. So buy your own is just doesn't mean anything. So there you go. And obviously that's the dog
okay.
element of humanity I've hit there. And herding.
I'm just so into the
Love it.
quiz, I kind of keep forgetting the humanity link. I'm just like, why wouldn't he be asking these sorts of questions?
Right, this is the last one, and then we'll check out the coin pusher progress.
Okay.
If a Goldie is the size of about 2.3 humans, how much is the gold worth? And the clue for that is that I used 180 pounds, as in the weight, as my starting point.
Excellent question.
Thank you.
Can you repeat it one more time for me?
Yes.
I was
If
Stephen
a
thought.
Goldie is the size of about 2.3 human, how much is the gold worth?
Ooh.
And I started with 180 pounds.
How much is it
Oh,
worth?
Helen's already put the correct answer in the chat of a lot. And I think that we can all agree
I
that
think
that
we
is
all
objectively
got this
true.
question right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that. Yeah. Gosh, I'm not up on my gold value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It changes every day. It changes every day.
I need to head to a pawn shop sometime soon. Yeah.
Yeah. Shall I? Okay, I'll give you a clue. It's in the millions.
Okay.
Millions.
I'm gonna go with
Yeah.
233,600,000. I'll try to get a little more accurate there, just in case I hit the money.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah, and if you win, I'm going to give you the value of money.
Oh, awesome! Perfect.
But he said that after you made your guess, so clearly.
Oh, right,
probably
right.
wrong. Yeah. I'll guess 42 million.
Knighting. Okay. Thank you. 42 million. Knighting asked, "Am I assuming the Goldie weighs as much as 2.3 humans?" Yes, I am. I had to start somewhere, so I'm making an assumption there.
I'm going to guess 120 million.
120 million. Okay. In the chat, T3K, 400 million. Any other guesses in there? Tories on 70 million. Mike. Oh, I don't know what Mike's actual username is, but MEUSIDAW. Mike is our moderator from Discord, so it's good to see him. He's guessing 2.3 million. I will reveal to you now the answer is in fact $6.7 million. Is how much you could
Cheap
buy
then.
a Goldie for. They're cheap. They're cheap. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
That's not too
Yeah,
not
so
too bad. I was way off.
Every time one walks off the stage, you got to think about that.
They're not recycled like the humans. They don't turn
Yeah,
back into
exactly. They're gone.
Yeah.
They're too expensive.
Well, Austin's regretting not getting the
That's
Goldie
amazing.
on my stage earlier now, isn't he? That's...
Right.
weight. Yeah.
Helen's saying, surely you should work it out on the volume of a Goldie. It's like, guys, knighting as well. If you can work it out, be my guest. I did my best maths I could to work it out, but I couldn't figure it out.
All right, before we load up this coin pusher, do we have any theme suggestions on music and model, etc., etc.?
Ooh.
Oh.
Something glitzy would be cool, wouldn't it? Like gambling
Yeah, I feel like one of
theme.
the city ones would make more
Right.
sense, I guess. You know,
that's
it's like
good.
quite an urban thing.
Electricity.
Kind of like a night, yeah, the night one might be
Ooh.
good.
What music do you like to gamble to? Let's see.
I like my favorite song in the game is Combine.
Okay. Oh, where's coming? There we go. I'm feeling that. That's kind of a night vibe.
Yeah.
Night city vibe. Block material. Your various forms of rock and concrete.
Except for the snow one. Snow
Yeah.
one's different enough.
Ooh, that's kind of, it lights up a
There
bit
you
there
go.
too. Yeah.
It does. It's sort of glitzy.
Those the goal lights, sorry, reminds me of like Caesar's Palace. You know the fountain that has the
Yeah.
lights
Yeah,
coming
yeah.
out.
We could use gold or
Yes.
silver for our coins.
I think
Nineteen
silver.
has a model of a of a Goldie. Is that something you made, Nineteen, or is that something that was ever released? Like, I'm curious about the how does he have that?
Yeah, we made models of. I think I've a dog somewhere. here, and a Goldie is lying flat on top of a box. But yeah, we made little Goldie and Shiba Inu, and sent them to Knighting for getting to be the first player level 9. That was his sort of prize.
Amazing.
Ooh, oh, so close.
Yeah.
I need to attach the goal to our motorized block here. And then we'll be golden.
This is looking pretty sweet here.
Yeah, let's see how this
I like this.
ends out.
So you haven't tested this at all, right? Like, unless I missed it.
No, I have not.
Press play once. What do you
Of course,
guys like
when you're
for
making a
saving?
stage.
Do you save regularly, or do you trust?
I save regularly. Try to.
Bonus coins.
Oh, good name.
It kind of rhymes with points there.
Yeah,
Oh.
nice.
Alright, let's see how this looks. Oh, my goal's not moving again. I guess I need to properly group it. I wasn't sure if I had to do that.
I see the chat has really gone in on working out
Yeah.
the weight of the value of a Goldie. Maybe one of you guys will end up being closer and being than my guess.
So as we're kind of putting the finishing touches on this level, I wanted to make sure that we plugged what you guys are up to now. Your next episode, I think you're focusing on Pikmin 4. Is that right?
Ooh.
Yes, indeed. That's out next Friday. Yeah, so next Friday we're doing Pikmin 4, and then what's after that? Alan Wake. Is that right, Joe?
Yep.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. Just in time for the remake, that is. And then I think it's XCOM 2.
I love XCOM, or the original XCOM. I actually haven't played 2. I've only played the OG ones.
Oh, not
Play
Enemy
along?
Unknown. The old original ones.
Yeah, on the on my old DOS computer. Yeah, I have
Oh, wow.
I played all the old XCOM games. They did not age well if you play them now, but I still have the nostalgia for them.
Yeah, that's a
Nice.
guest that's picked it. So it's kind of I think kind of a little bit out of our like normal wheelhouse for games we play. But it's kind of crazy. The podcast literally you could like. It could be a dartboard with every game, and we're just throwing dartboards at it. Like even just from that little list, like the genres and the ages. Like we played the original Rogue, from back in the I guess late 70s, I think it was, and
Yeah,
then,
yeah.
right up to current releases like Humanity.
Right.
All right, so we have our.
Oh, I'm excited for this. They're making their way
Yeah.
down.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, so what are they? Oh yeah, of course, because you've made them look in that skin. That's so good.
Yeah.
I was expecting them to look like humans. I don't know. It's so obvious, but I hadn't actually considered.
Well, we have the infinite coin glitch. Maybe we could make it a little more precise, but as of now, it's kind of a little bit of an autoplay. But you can stop pushing out
Yeah.
the coins, and then we have our pushers. I guess we have 3 rows of pushers, and on the bottom though, there's a chance that you will get crushed back into here. You can lose all your coins. So
I see.
we'll see how this turns out. I don't know if we're gonna. Maybe it'll be science. We'll see how many of these goals. You see how I adjusted the 50 on an area I thought might be
Yeah.
harder to get into. We
Yeah.
could probably.
I wonder if any will be able to reach that.
Yeah, let's see what happens here. We have a ton
So
on
is
the
it just
top.
as the platforms are filling up, there's no arrow telling them to go down, it's just
So
with
no.
guess
So
they
yeah,
just
they're
made us the
overflowing,
agents.
like a coin
Yeah.
pusher would, right? So
right.
I
I
was
wonder
thinking,
if you could maybe not worry about it for now, but like put like glass panels on the top to kind of keep them in at the top. To make sure they don't
Oh,
fall
yeah.
down.
On the
And I
sides
think
there, 'cause they are
aesthetically it
falling
would
off.
work as well. Like even like a glass panel like along like the front as well. I think. Would,
yeah, it looks like a lot
would
are
work
falling
visually
off the
well as
edges
well.
too, and that would kind of speed up the process here.
Yeah, like along the whole edge of it, glass panels would work.
Yeah, you know what? We could do a
Can't
quick
believe how
addition
good
on
this is
that.
working already.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, you did that so
Like,
fast.
you're gonna make this in a stream, and you're gonna make it with 3 people talking. Over
Right.
you, like a YouTube, like,
And
I
I was
can't
getting
believe the
quizzed.
speed you put
Yeah.
that together. Yeah.
All right, so
And you were doing maths.
That's my cope for why my Goldie number was extremely off there.
There you go.
Too much going on. But let's see. So yeah, let's get a few glass walls in there. But yeah, we could also throw this up into the bonus playlist. Sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah. So I was just going to say text some. So we're still on Goldies. The weight of the value of a Goldie. So they've worked it out as 657 point a lot of numbers million US dollars is the way they worked it out. So a lot more than where we went.
Didn't someone guess 700 million out of you three?
I said 230 or something.
Well, whoever's was highest. Oh.
I think I think Austin was highest.
Yeah, that was way over.
Yeah.
Just succeeding all evening, or evening for us. Succeeding all evening over there, smashing the stages, winning.
Oh, I guess
quizzes,
like
building
Price is Right
stages.
rules. Yeah, if we
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't go over.
That's right.
All right, so we have our glass
Texon guessed
walls.
400 million before the maths came out. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I think if I were to make a
I
change,
like how
I'd add a pusher to the top.
I like how the starting block moves left and right with the
Mhm.
gate. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I wonder how
It's good because
difficult it is
they
here.
drop in like a clump, like the coins do as well. They're not
Yeah.
like scattering down. It's like, oh, a big batch has just dropped together.
Now, are those goals at the bottom numbered goals, or is that a flow goal?
It's
It
numbered,
is
numbered, yeah.
It is numbered. Okay, good.
Yeah, otherwise, I don't think it'd be
You might
solvable
be waiting
here.
a while.
Yeah, it looks like maybe we could speed up the process, like add. I was thinking if we have motorized block at the top pushing that massive glob of
Yeah.
coins, that might speed it
Yeah,
up.
maybe
quite a
just
bit.
like small ones, like just one little one, like on either side.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because otherwise, I think it might be just over too quick. Otherwise,
Also, would it not get in the way of your gate moving left and right?
think that-
Yeah, I guess I'd have to like move it forward or something like that.
yeah.
Or up? You could put it up a bit.
Oh
and then you
yeah,
can
that's a good
fall down
idea.
2 blocks. Yeah.
Well, we're getting down there slowly but surely. Maybe I should have. So like right here, I have them going towards each other. I think if I had them in a loop, it'd be more likely to fall down there.
Yeah, they'd be getting pushed to the edge more because they'd be told to go sideways more rather than.
Oh, and also they're falling off this edge because I didn't put glass there, so I'll have to put glass in that middle row.
There you
It's
go.
I
weird
wonder why
to me
more
that
are falling
they're.
on the left than the
Yes.
right.
That's exactly what I was about to say. It's weird
Yeah.
that they're bunching up on the left like that. It looks amazing though. Like you've done an amazing job.
Yeah, this is cool. I think with some extra tinkering, we can put this into your bonus points playlist here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Please do.
Not to keep you guys here for hours as we tinker with the coin pusher, but that's how stage creation goes, right? You have this idea, and there is a kind of a zen to once you get some idea like this. I can keep playing with this for a while now that we have something going, right?
I want to see. I want to
Yeah.
see one get to the goal.
You're right. We're getting there.
Yeah, one to make. I'm sure it'll be the one that will get sucked back in as well with the timing. Yeah, I like.
I feel like the middle will be the most likely.
Yeah, because they're going sideways.
Oh, we have nobody on the right. Why is that?
I think there's one. Is there one? It's kind of hard to see on like the.
Yeah, there's
screen
one
thing,
in
like,
there.
I think There's one lonely coin.
I wonder why that is. Oh, I know why it is. It's because they're all heading one direction here. So they're... Wait, does that make
okay.
sense?
Yeah, I wonder if they're mainly falling at the arrow. If there's only one arrow pointing towards the dog, if that makes sense,
Right.
and that's where they're mostly falling.
Mm.
That's why it's the left side.
I'm not
Like
sure
I
if we're
wonder
gonna
if maybe
get...
they could be dropping. Maybe because that door doesn't really need to move. To be fair, that door could be in the middle, and they come down and go off each way. Could work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I guess
That
the door moving isn't actually really adding anything.
Yeah, it doesn't really affect.
Because you
it.
still have a
It
huge
looks
crowd.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. I'm not sure if we're gonna get enough overflow here for even just one. I was thinking if we do have it, it's gonna be. Oh, you know what's weird is you see that they're getting pushed into the wall, but they're still not falling off here. It's interesting.
Yeah. They're resilient.
I feel like if we added some extra walls, we can get that one, because we have a lot falling off here.
I was gonna say, as we are wrapping up here, not to keep you guys in the stream too long, because I know it's later for you than it is for us. I wanted to make sure that we told people where they can find the bonus points, find you on socials. So if you guys want to go ahead and do your spiel, please do.
Yeah. Shall I do it, Joe?
Of course, you're the guy for the job of this.
Okay, so we are at the bonus points on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. Oh, sorry, not Twitter, X. Instagram and Threads. On TikTok, we're at the bonus points YT. We put out a podcast every other week. So next Friday is the next main podcast episode. But I will give a little exclusive that we have a bonus podcast episode coming out on Friday this week. That's the first time we've announced that. So the people that are here, the other people that know, we have an episode coming out on Friday.
Falling off
fresh
their
announcement
seat.
here.
Yes, they are screaming. I cannot believe it.
Yeah, we also wanted to say thanks so much for everything that you've done for us and kind of sharing our stuff and coming on for the interview and even the stuff in the game and inviting on this. Like, it's been amazing. Like, Ollie and I were talking the other day about like Ollie, you were just saying that the fact you just saw like Enhance like tweeting out a thing about us. Like, we were saying there's not many development studios that we would be more excited to do this stuff with. Like, genuinely, like, you know, even compared to like Naughty Dog or something, like these are such like us games that you guys are creating, and we loved, you know, humanity in particular so much. So it's just so cool to kind of like dip our toe in a little bit and kind of feel a little bit more connected to the game through these cool community things with you guys is great.
Yeah, thanks so much, guys.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah. We're so appreciative of you guys talking about the game and sharing it with your community as well. So yeah, it's just a hopefully virtuous cycle, right? That we both of our communities meet up somewhere in the middle, right?
Yeah,
we all love video games, and you know, having a podcast about games like you do and talking about games as you do, like, I think is important. And you know, being positive about games as well. Like, there's so much negativity around, so it's great to like see people who are legitimately having fun with games and, you know, doing it in an interesting way, like you guys are doing the Bloodborne playthrough, and you know, taking games like Rogue and some of the older titles and rating and reviewing those while checking out Pikmin 4, Humanity. Like, I think it's a really interesting way that you guys have set up your show. So it's our pleasure to highlight you guys.
The goal is always, we want to be positive. We only pick games that we think we will like or at least be interesting. It hasn't always worked out. There's been one or two that we try to find the good points, but it doesn't always work out exactly like humanity. But yeah, that is certainly the goal, is to kind of celebrate this hobby that we all enjoy so much.
Yeah, indeed.
Excellent.
Thanks, guys.
Absolutely. I think with that, we can probably sign off our stream. So thank you, everyone, for joining us. And yes, be on the lookout for the bonus coins level. I'm going to probably spend too much time on that, making it look as beautiful as possible. And yes, Joe and Ollie, I'll let you know when that is live, so you can see the glorious bonus coins. But yeah, any other thoughts, CJ?
No, you know, we got the bonus points playlist in game, so that people can go and check out all the stages that Joe and Ollie have made. And as Austin just said, the bonus coins level when that is out there. And if you've not played Humanity, it's out on PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, and Steam. It's on PlayStation Plus game catalog if you have the extra premium tier. And if you're on Steam, we have a demo that just went live not too long ago. So you can multiple ways of checking the game out as well. And we do this stream every week, highlighting community stages or other communities like the bonus points. And hopefully you'll join us week to week. And these VODs will be up on our YouTube channel as well.
Yep.
Awesome.
All right, everybody. Thank you. We're going to sign off. Joe and Ollie, it was a pleasure having you on. And we will be back here on Wednesday around the same time. So thanks for joining us.
Thanks so much.
Cheers,
Bye,
everyone.
guys.